What's up, everybody in YouTube world? This is Chris, and of course, this is my channel, Barn on 11970. Thank you for checking out this video, and I hope you guys are enjoying your day. All right, guys, one of my subscribers asked a very good question when it comes to Switzerland and what's going on, so I thought I would give a little bit of a background. I mean, I'm not an expert on this, so if you're looking for experts, obviously I would recommend going to the people with suit and ties and hope they decide to tell you the truth and not just pass on their agendas. So one of my subscribers, and he's got a good channel if you want to check it out, it's Freedom Force USA. It's all one word, so if you want to check out his channel, just type in Freedom Force USA. He kind of talks like a lot of stuff that I do, but he also talks more about the metals and investing, and he seems to know more about it than I do. So if you want to check that out, go ahead. But he asked this question, and he wrote in his comment, September gold exports from Switzerland was 172.6 tons from an article he read. There's no logical reason why they would need to buy gold on the open market. I'm not sure I understand the issue. Could you easily do this over a period of time as well? Am I missing something? So this is what I want people to know about this event, because obviously the media is not going to talk about this, and they're going to probably just, even if there was an article in the newspaper, it'd probably be on page 37 in some tiny article where most people would just pass it by for the sports page or the horoscopes. Basically, in a nutshell, the country of Switzerland is part of the euro, but does not use the euro. They still use the Swiss franc. And it was backed by a certain amount of gold, thus giving it a more valuable money as compared to the euro's currency. And basically the pressure that they had with trying to support countries like Spain and Greece and some of these other countries in the euro that are not being fiscally responsible, and they're using a fiat debt-based currency called the euro, Switzerland banks, for whatever purpose or agenda they had, started selling off the country's gold, devaluing their Swiss franc, which would make the euro seem higher. So that's how they do these whole scams. That's how the dollar ends up looking quote-unquote strong, is when they add, like, for example, Japan or over in Europe, when they're adding more of their currency, it devalues their currency. So let's say this is the dollar and this is the euro. If they devalue the euro, this appears stronger, but notice it didn't move anywhere. So that's exactly what they did with the Swiss franc and their gold that was backing it. Here's the Swiss franc, here was the euro. So they lowered the gold, devaluing the currency, which gave the illusion of a stronger euro. And basically the people of Switzerland saw what was going on, because when you devalue a currency or a money, prices seem to rise. It's not that things get more expensive, it's that you need more of the currency to make purchases. So I'm sure just like anywhere else in the world, people are struggling, and when all of a sudden prices start getting that illusion of being higher and it's more expensive to buy necessities like food and electricity, the people basically spoke up. And on November 30th of this year, they are going to supposedly do a vote where they are going to try and do a vote to see if the Bank of Switzerland should buy back from the open market. So they would be buying at spot price physical gold to go back into the support of the Swiss franc. And they are saying it's going to be roughly about $60 billion worth of gold. Because right now, the Swiss franc is backed by, or I think it's about 7% gold. They want to bring it up to 20%. So that right there will show the world that if they vote yes, if it's not a rigged vote, which unfortunately I believe it's going to be, and they voted yes, and the Swiss banks were forced to buy $60 billion of gold on the open market, that is going to send a clear signal to the world that gold is what's needed to bring value to a currency and actually make it money. And people will start buying because people are followers. They always do what everybody else does. And that's why if you notice anything when it comes to investments, and I had to find this the hard way over experience over time, is you're supposed to buy low and sell high. But the way the media and the governments trick us is they use emotion. That's why, for example, what is the number one thing that they are pushing in the media? They're talking about the Dow Jones, the S&P 500, the stocks and how they're rising. And the smarter people are seeing that you don't buy things when they're rising. You buy them at the bottom. But when it's at the bottom, nobody talks about it. Nobody favors it. So people tend to stay away from it. So what they do is they create your emotion. They say, oh, this is rising, you need to get it. And I fell for that trap back in 2011 when I didn't know as much as I know now. And I was buying at the $35, $40 level. I mean, I didn't have a lot of money to buy a lot. So in the grand scheme of things, I think my average cost of silver is about $22 at this point, because I'm talking at over $40 an ounce. I probably bought 15 ounces altogether, maybe 20 at the best. But I'm buying hundreds of ounces below the $20 mark. So it always evens out. But I fell for that trap of that emotional high of, wow, I got to get this. Look, it's going to keep going. It's going to keep going. Then you get the people like the Alex Joneses in the world and the Max Kaisers and all those people that were using our emotion against us. And now that silver and gold have plummeted to the degree that they're at now, nobody's talking about it. People are hating on it. People are frustrated with it. And in my opinion, that's the perfect time to buy. And in the grand scheme of things, like I've always said, I purchase things for protection for the future. So even if I bought it a few ounces at 45, if the price one day in 5 years from now goes to $75 an ounce, $100 an ounce, and I'm not suggesting that it will. I'm saying it's not impossible. But will it matter if I bought, let's say I bought 15 ounces, let's say I bought 20 ounces at 45, and then all of a sudden 5 years from now, silver's at $75 an ounce. Less profit, but still ahead of the game. And even if I broke even, I know how I am. When I was younger, I used to spend money on the most ridiculous things. If something broke, instead of trying to repair it, I'd just buy something new again. So I would waste money on things that I would never get any return on. So for me, investing in precious metals is my way of protecting myself from wasting money on the things I used to do when I was younger. I used to spend it on alcohol. I used to go partying with my friends. I used to do all these things that you get zero return on. So I know I kind of went off track and everything, but the whole Swiss event on November 30th could be an interesting event. The problem is, in my gut, I know that even though you could have 100% of the Swiss people vote yes in a manipulated situation where the powers that be control the media, I don't see yes being a possibility. They'll talk about it now, which they're even shocked that it's even saying right now that it's more people are voting towards yes than no. I have a feeling they're going to rig it, and they're going to end up giving the results that they want, not what the people want. And that could cause some interesting scenarios to happen with the people of Switzerland and the events around the world, because that could say if they, quote-unquote, voted no, which to me, I don't think the people would vote no, because would you? If you were in that country and you knew that your banks were selling that gold and it was devaluing your currency, and you saw your prices getting higher and higher, and if you voted, you had the ability to vote to get the gold back, to bring it back up so you can have more value in your money, of course you're going to vote yes. But the banks don't want that, and they unfortunately have the control, because the average person, they spend more time hating their fellow brothers and sisters than they do trying to fight the corrupt system that will ultimately consume them as well. So in my opinion, I really think, unfortunately, that it's going to show a no vote, and that's going to bring prices down, because it's going to make the media is going to play off it, and they're going to make people think that gold isn't really popular. But to me, I think that's the moment where, not right away, it could take months, it could take a year or two, but I think of it like a pinball machine. When you take that little lever and you could slowly pull it back, but once you let go, it springs forward and game on. So I think if there is the no vote on November 30th, which I think unfortunately it's going to be, not because that's what the people want, that's what they're going to make it seem to be, like what they did in Scotland with their vote for independence, I really think that you will see a major dip if that happens. And if it does, I think it's going to be one of the last major dips. So somebody was asking my opinion on where the prices could be. I mean, honestly, all I could do is make a guess. But I would think if there was that kind of major backlash, you're talking probably a good $100 dip in gold, maybe a little bit more, $150. Silver would probably drop another $2 to $3 overnight. Again, I can't promise that, but that's just nothing more than my opinion. But people ask it, so that's what I'm going to give. So that's provided that the no vote happens. If there is some miracle where it's just there's no way they can hide it, and everybody's out in the streets with a yes sign, and they're making it very clear and obvious that they want their gold, and that happens, and the bank has to buy the gold to support the Swiss franc, first of all, that's going to devalue the currency of the euro, and it's going to damage the dollar, which means that will put our financial abilities in jeopardy, which means other countries might follow suit and say, wait a minute, the Swiss bought this gold, it raised the value of their currency, thus lowering ours, which didn't lower it, it just raised the Swiss franc. Other countries are going to say, you know what, we want our gold. And Germany might pressure the New York Fed to get even more of their gold repatriated. So it shows that even though there are people around here that hate gold and silver and they don't think it has any kind of value, to me, countries and banks that are purchasing these things and trying to discredit it by selling a bunch of paper garbage, to me says I would rather listen to them than somebody that just has some personal vendetta against me, whether they get paid for it or they do it out of joy. So anyway, I'm going to leave this video relatively short, under 15 minutes, so let's see what you think about this. Pay attention to this Switzerland event in November 30th. That's why I said expect, if it starts getting a buzz where the yes vote seems to be what could happen, like they're already talking about, I see some major event happening right before the 30th to keep people distracted. And again, that doesn't have to mean anything bad. It could be just, you know, some popular movie star all of a sudden comes out of the scene, or a popular movie, or a political scandal or something. It doesn't have to mean that there's going to be some nuclear attack or something. I'm not into the fear porn, as the people that watch this know this. So I'm going to leave it at that. Leave your comments if you appreciate what I do. If you give it a thumbs up, I really do appreciate it, because, you know, as you can see, the haters will be attacking my channel. That's what they do. And your support helps me keep this going. If you could favorite and share it, that also helps, posting it on your social networks. And if you're not a part of the Bar None Nation, I would love for you to give me the benefit of the doubt. Don't listen to what other people's opinions are. Formulate your own. That should be anything in life. So check out a couple of my videos. And if you appreciate what I try and do and what I give away freely, hit the subscribe button below. So thanks for watching, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I hope this helps. Peace.